Steve Harvey, right? One of the things that I like to do, is I like to wait until certain things pass or more information is communicated before I start to have my own personal opinion about a specific situation, especially when it could be a rumor. Especially when it could be a rumor. Now, everybody was quick to hop on this bandwagon. Um, and it's unfortunate because I did watch a few people just to see what it is that they were saying about it. And it seems as though they wanted Steve to lose so bad that they went ahead and ran along with the narrative instead of being honest and objective about what their perspective is about it. And I'm going to tell you why that's important. Because us as people, as content creators, we have a greater responsibility. Yes, we want to be entertaining. Yes, we want the views. Yes, we want the relevancy. Yes, we want people to pay attention to what it is that we say. But in order to have that long-term credibility, you also have to be objective enough to actually be honest about what it is. You can't just entirely go based off of what you think. You have to go based off of what the facts are, and then also speak to what your opinion is based off of the limited amount of information that we have. And the reason why that's important is because us as content creators, we're not always going to be in the space that we're in. You're going to be having some people check for you and see what it is that you got going on. And you're not going to want them to go just entirely based off of a rumor. You're not going to want them to talk about your wife based off of a rumor. You're not going to want them to just automatically assume that somebody is doing something to your wife based off of what somebody else said or a tweet or an alleged thing that somebody wants to happen. You have to be objective. Could it have happened? Possibly. All we have to go off of is what's being communicated. Now, with that being said, I think that there's more to be able to extract out of this than just the possibility of a rumor, right? We gotta be honest about what's happening here, right? So I'm going to play a couple different things that happened over the weekend, and then I'm going to give you my thoughts based off of what I believe is a possibility and what I think that you should do if you find yourself in a similar situation, if it really did happen, all right? So the first thing that happened with regard to Steve Harvey, and again, make sure you hit a like for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications. Shout out to all of my people over there on Facebook. The first thing that happened with Steve Harvey is allegedly somebody on his social media team put out a tweet somebody on his social media team put out a tweet that basically said, name some of the unfunny comedians, right? And this is a regular thing, right? Most people that have some level of visibility don't entirely run their social media by themselves. Some of them, especially somebody like a Steve Harvey, which I can understand, does not really control their social media at all because they don't have time. They have a lot of things going on, so on and so forth. So they may pick up their phone and say something, but then at the same time, most of the time, it's other people that's running it. When you guys send emails, I see them. They come as notifications on my iPad and on both of my phones. But I'm not always quick to just respond to every single thing. Sometimes it could be a sponsorship deal, and I have people in place to handle that. Sometimes it's a direct email from you guys, and then I may handle that, right? Sometimes it's all different things that I have to deal with, and so I have other people in assistance that play a role in managing what happens. However, I'm still responsible for the people that I employ to be a part of my team that then oversees it. And so this was Steve Harvey's reaction to what was being communicated as far as the tweet prior to information that was then allegedly being released about his wife cheating. All right, let me play this.
Time to address this here. I came down here to get away, get in some nature, do some fishing. Somebody works for me on my Twitter, put a statement out that was totally negative. I got to take responsibility for it because they work for me. But the engagement was talking about name a comedian you don't think is funny. Why would I do something like that? That don't even make no damn sense. My whole brand is to be motivational. And I'm going to turn around and say something like that. You don't know where these young people at in their career, man. They could be coming up in anything. I'm all about positivity. I would have never done nothing like that.
I'm going to need Steve Harvey to cover his mouth when he coughs. I know he's out in nature. I know he's doing a selfie. I know he was on vacation at this particular moment. He was trying to have some family time or whatever. But one thing that I can't take is people that do not cover their mouth by habit, by nature. I don't like it when people keep some hand sanitizer on you, spray it on your hand. What is up with cleanliness? I'm just not understanding the idea behind people don't want to embrace the idea of being clean. I heard somebody say this over the weekend on a video. They said something. It was a guy that said something like he don't shave or he don't groom or something like that because it's not manly enough. I don't really understand what y'all think is real cool about stinking or doing some egregious shit. You know what I'm saying? We just got over COVID. I'm not a fan of the masks or anything like that, but I'm gonna need you to, I like to take public transportation, especially when I travel or when I'm downtown in Detroit. A lot of y'all see me on a regular basis. Somebody hit me up and said, Anton, was that you on the freeway when your car was? Yeah, y'all see me, but I'm always making sure that I'm participating the right way. Cover your mouth. Get some hand sanitizer. And another thing, just because you get hand sanitizer does not mean that you're not supposed to wash your hands. Go to the restroom, wash your hands, and then sanitize it. It's a way in which we're supposed to do things here. All right, so let's not get distracted. Let's get back to it, all right?
I'm so pissed off right now, man. Talking about I was trying to get some engagement. Okay. Be trying to get some employment too. My bad, y'all. Now I got to come on here and do something, doing a damn selfie. So here it is. I'm sorry, man. My bad, y'all. Won't happen.
So he had to fire his social media manager, and that's unfortunate. You got to do what you got to do. I don't disagree with the fact that he had to address it accordingly. So that's what happened prior to him then getting himself into a whole situation as far as people feeling some type of way about the possibility of his wife cheating. All right, so let's move over into that area of it. I don't know if I would have necessarily fired my social media manager. I tend to allow my people to be able to learn from their mistakes while they're with me, even if I'm suffering from it. Rita is a little bit different. Rita be like, "Hey, Anton, you need to make some adjustments. Do that. Hey, we might need to fire this person, or whatever." I'll be like, they've been with me for a while. I got to make sure that they learn. It could have been any one of us. I'm more compassionate when it comes to the people that work for me. But other people feel like they need to address it immediately. So he fired his social media manager, right? And then right after that, story came out about his wife allegedly cheating on him with his bodyguard. His wife allegedly cheating on him with his bodyguard. Now, this is how the story goes. All right? This is how the story goes. Hold on, let me back it up. I'm going to read it before I play the video. It says, the reports about Steve Harvey's wife, Majorie, cheating on him and later filing for divorce, is it true? It's trending on Twitter for all the wrong reasons. It was recently reported that Steve Harvey's wife, Majorie Harvey, has cheated on him and filed for divorce. But a new one says it's all fake. It went in to go into a report claimed that she was caught cheating on the daytime Emmy award-winning personality with his bodyguard and personal chef. All right, so I'm trying to figure out something. So your bodyguard is also your personal chef? That's crazy. So you telling me you over there with the big brawn and you can cook for me too? I don't know. Maybe he's saving money. So the bodyguard is also the personal chef, allegedly, based off of what all of the reports are, right? Moreover, following the same, she has filed for divorce and demanded $200 million in settlement. As per Marca, the report is fake, and Steve Harvey's close friend has revealed the same. Ned, a Nigerian businessman who says he is Steve Harvey's friend, recently took to Instagram to handle a claim that the news about his and Majorie's split is fake. He wrote, fake news has been taken to new heights all over the world, and this is so unfortunate. We experience this practically every day, and so when we read about our friend Steve Harvey and his lovely wife having issues, we had to contact him and confirm that he and his wife are very much okay. And it's all fake news and should be disregarded. The family is happy together, and we wish them all the best. So, Steve Harvey was at InvestFest. Apparently, he was at InvestFest, and he decided to address this directly.
Sometimes you just want to respond, but I ain't got no time for rumor and gossip, man.
Shout out to Forgotten Kings. We appreciate you for the footage, big dog.
God been good to me.
This bruh, man, from the fifth floor.
I belong to me and I belong to y'all. Good and bad. Before I get started, just let me say, I'm fine. Marjorie fine. I don't know what y'all doing. Find something else to do. Because we fine. Lord have mercy. Man. I sure wish I could cuss though. You know, 'cause sometimes you just wanna respond, but I ain't got no time for rumor and gossip, man. God been good to me. I'm still shining, fine. I don't know what y'all doing, but find something else to do, 'cause we fine. Lord have mercy. Man. I sure wish I could cuss though, you know, because sometimes you just wanna respond, but I ain't got no time for rumor and gossip, man. God been good to me.
So, all right, so let's back up for a minute. Let's talk about it. Let's break it down, all right? First and foremost, it's a difficult situation to be in because I can only imagine somebody at his status and his magnitude having to address a rumor based off of what people said on Twitter. We live in unprecedented times. Honestly, we live in unprecedented times. And being a celebrity or a content creator or an athlete or an entertainer in any form or fashion, it's good and bad that comes along with it. So this could be absolutely true or it could be absolutely untrue, but we don't know, so we always got to go with what it is that we know for a fact. And the fact of the matter is that you should never be convicted in the court of public opinion. That's A. And then B, it's unfortunate because it's like damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you don't respond to it, then in a lot of people's minds, it gives credence to the rumors. If you do respond to it, in a lot of people's minds, they're going to be dissecting what you say to try to, figure out whether or not you actually deflecting or why didn't he address it directly or anything like that. But I don't really understand what y'all looking for from him. I don't really understand what y'all looking for. What do you want him to say? What do you want him to say? He said, look, we fine. I don't even know what the fuck y'all talking about. We don't even pay attention to gossip. We don't pay attention to rumors. That's not really a thing for us. Let me ask another question. Unless we know for a fact, because anybody can type anything on the internet and say anything, right? Unless we know for a fact that this happened, because everybody is going to say a whole bunch of stuff all the time, right? Unless we know for a fact this happened, why does he have to address it? Why shouldn't he ignore it? That's what I'm curious about. Because everybody could say what they would do, but very few people are in a situation where they actually have some people talk. Y'all feel a certain type of way when your mother or your brother say something or your family got a rumor and you want to go out and check everybody. You calling everybody and you checking them. I don't really understand. If they not getting divorced or they not breaking up, why are we so concerned with somebody else's marriage? And I get it. People don't like him because he wrote the book, Think Like a Man, Act Like a Lady. They don't necessarily care for him because of the fact that he is simp and he talked about being a simp. I disagree with it also. But when I disagree with it, I disagree with it based off of the content that he put out there. So when he showed up on Shannon Sharp's podcast, or when I read the book, because I did read the book to see what his mindset was, I 100% disagreed with it. And so I reacted to that. I can't react to a rumor. I can't have a definitive position based off of a rumor, right? Unless something happens to where it's on some Jada Pinkett, Will Smith type stuff, to where something absolutely comes out and now we have some definitive proof to where we can actually source from, because when it becomes public information, because you are a public figure, then we can react to it. Why do we start being so concerned with rumors? When did we start convicting people in the court of public opinion based off of rumors? People do rumors even when it comes to money. A lot of y'all think that a lot of these people got $1 billion inside of their bank account. Just because it says that they're on a Forbes list don't necessarily mean that it's true, A, and it don't necessarily mean that they got that amount of money. Nobody carries $1 billion in a bank account. That is crazy. That is insane. They may be liquid, 40, 50 million, 20 million, depending on what it is that they using it for or where they want to deploy their capital. They may have access to it. Their net worth may be that or close to it, but it doesn't necessarily substantiate it. I remember when Dr. Dre sold Beats or whatever, and they had automatically declared him a billionaire. When it wound up not even being true, yes, he's 100 millionaire, which is practically the same fucking thing in my opinion. But I just don't understand, why are we always so concerned with rumors instead of waiting for the facts to come out? And it's unfortunate because I get it. I absolutely understand. I understand the idea that he has to, in some way or shape or form, in some capacity, because everybody in the audience had just heard about it, and so he's over there trying to do his job, and so we got to address it in some type of way, shape, or form. But I don't really understand of why we always lean to the rumors in order to develop our opinions. And I'm going to say another thing. Let me say this one more thing, because I'm not a fan of involving children unless the children then become adults and they become public figures themselves, or wives and children. I just don't like that shit. I don't. So me personally, right, and I know y'all don't necessarily like this position because y'all want me to be in the messiness and all of that other type of stuff, but I got to change my perspective and how it is that I go about operating. Me personally, I can't speak on their marriage or their situation unless I know definitively or I have proof that this is something that actually happened. I can't make an assumption about it because I wouldn't want somebody to make an assumption about me, especially when we have something that's not true. And I think that we got to do better. I think that it's worth having a conversation about as far as it being entertaining, but I think that when you start affecting other people's lives, especially when we don't know definitively what happened. If he comes out and he says, listen, we good over here, I don't think that anything else needs to be said. And I don't even necessarily care for Steve Harvey. I am not a fan of Steve Harvey as far as how it is that he views relationships. I am a fan of Steve Harvey of how it is that he's able to get to the bag. Let me separate the two. I'm not a fan of Steve Harvey as far as the advice that he gives when it comes to relationships. I think that he has simp relationship advice, 100%. I am a fan of Steve Harvey of his work ethic and how it is that he's able to transition into being able to get to the bag. Dude is one of the hardest workers that I've ever seen in my entire life. And I'm able to separate the two. I'm able to chew the meat, spit out the bones, and apply it to my life accordingly. And when it comes to rumors, right, I just don't like to play off of rumors unless it's business related, because rumors with regard to business can be substantiated once you start doing a little bit of digging. But when it comes to rumors, especially with regard to other people's relationships, I can't assume. I just got to go based off of what it is that I see, what it is that people communicate, and then I'll react based off of that. So, yeah, man, I just don't have a position. I know that that's not what y'all want to hear. I know that y'all want me to be a lot more messy and start talking about, hey, man, her past and all of this other type of stuff. If something came out to where we actually definitively had proof, then that would be a different conversation. But I can't speculate off of a Twitter fucking rumor. And shame on y'all. Shame on y'all content creators that was so desperate for content, you couldn't find anything else to be able to talk about. You couldn't talk about your own life. You couldn't talk about your own position and your own disposition with regard to it. And again, we can do it based off of a hypothetical. I think that that's cool. But to have a definitive position and to talk negatively about somebody else's spouse based off of something that you don't know is absolutely disrespectful, in my opinion. To have a disposition about somebody else's spouse when you don't know, that's not even necessarily a public figure and is not even putting their business out there like that, is absolutely, positively disrespectful. Now, my position can and will change if something comes out to where it's actually something that's real, because it's relationship related. But just to be messy, just for the sake of being messy, I can't. I just can't. I'm sorry. I'm a different dude, and maybe if this was 5 years ago, I would have a different position or I would have an opinion about it. But I'm 41 years old. I'm a grown man, and I can't. I just can't be messy like that. And I think that it's lame. I think that it's corny. I think it's lame. And I think that we need to do better. I think that we need to elevate our mindset, elevate our thinking, and stop reacting based off of rumors and start reacting based off of real life information that allows for us to be able to learn more effectively about how it is that we need to move and be a lot more intentional. So that's just my opinion. Let me read a couple of these super chats and then I'm going to move on. So that's my thoughts on Steve Harvey. I don't have a position on it because I don't have enough information to really be able to draw from it. And I think that other people need to be more responsible with their platforms.